Hey. Oh, yeah. She stares at the calendar. Another birthday's here. She shakes her head in disbelief that it's been another year. She watches at the numbers, they are slowly creeping up, and laughs at how it's going with every little step. She's now in her 30s and age is now a thing, but it doesn't yet affect her beyond a little sting. She looks into the mirror, her face still looks the same. Wrinkles few and far between, so many smiles to blame. Ageless. The years have been so kind. Ageless. The numbers in her mind. Ageless. Her beauty is unbound. Ageless. In herself she finds. In her mind she's in her teens, and that's where she belongs. Lost in childlike innocence, her outlook feeling strong. Life hasn't crushed her, she looks forward to each day, as each one brings her closer to being on her way. Ageless. The years have been so kind. Ageless. The numbers in her mind. Ageless. Her beauty is unbound. Ageless. In herself she found. It seems like a short time ago she was still a child. This reflection of a woman feels so very wild. She giggles at the calendar and the numbers, what they say, then turns about with a smile and heads off into her day. Ooh, ooh. Hey, yeah. Ageless. The years have been so kind.
I journey through the dead of night to places never seen, unsure if they exist at all or simply in my dream. There are indeed some places very true and real, but it's the other ones I speak of, those that make you feel. Some of these so wonderful they'd almost make you cry. You hate it when you leave, they almost make you wanna die. Some are so magnificent, you sense, you touch, you feel. The experience of being there has instant appeal. Dreamscapes form the basis for our dreams. Dreamscapes, do we laugh or do we scream? Dreamscapes, the moment I begin. Dreamscapes, tell me, do I lose or win? Some places are unsettling, where you find yourself mired down, trying to make some progress, struggle with your surrounds. They make you feel frustrated no matter how you fare. And when the dream is over, you're glad you're out of there. Dreamscapes form the basis for our dreams. Dreamscapes, do we laugh or do we scream? Dreamscapes, the moment I begin. Dreamscapes, tell me, do I lose or win? These places frame my dreams for me, provide each dream a base. Whether dreams are good or bad are defined by the place. People and events play out, they form the dream in full. But it's the place where I find myself that's become the guiding rule. Dreamscapes form the basis for our dreams. Dreamscapes, do we laugh or do we scream? Dreamscapes, the moment I begin. Dreamscapes, tell me, do I lose or win?
Yeah, yeah, ah. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember being famous, at least as famous as I'd be. On radio and papers, quite a celebrity. They listened and they read my words, star status in my mind. My parents seemed so very proud, but were really just being kind. The airwaves fell on empty ears, listeners just a few. As I sat there in that studio, I hadn't got a clue. I was just a big fish in such a tiny pond, lost in my fantasies while simply swimming round. 15 minutes of a fool's foolish dream. 15 minutes in the limelight we are seen. 15 minutes, our moment in fame. 15 minutes. People saw me at events, approached me in the streets. I basked in the attention of everyone I'd meet. The world was my oyster, and I had its ears. So I imagined exaggeration years. 15 minutes of a fool's foolish dream. 15 minutes in the limelight we are seen. 15 minutes, our moment in fame. 15 minutes. Oh, yeah. There's nothing special about a fool with a dream. There's billions out there, or so it would seem. We believe our own press, every line that's in it. Andy Warhol said it best. Fame for 15 minutes. 15 minutes of a fool's foolish dream. 15 minutes in the limelight we are seen. 15 minutes, our moment in fame. 15 minutes. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
inside as they shoveled the soil in. The preacher had umbrella as he spoke under the rain. The few people that had come waited till prayers end, then shook her hand and walked away. Not a minute more to spend. The last to come over was the preacher with his book. Told her he was sorry, then her hand he shook. As the last car pulled away, she was still standing there. In the morning drizzle, seemed she was lost in prayer. His life had been a lie, no one left to cry. No one wondered why, none cared about this guy. His life had been a lie, they knew things were right. They knew his woman cried, they were glad to see him die. But it was just thought that took her. She was lost in memories of abuse and beatings, married life of misery. Within just months of marriage, he'd started hitting her. There were days she couldn't rise from bed. Her body was that sore. His life had been a lie, no one left to cry. No one wondered why, none cared about this guy. His life had been a lie, they knew things were right. They knew his woman cried, they were glad to see him die. She was glad to see the back of him, wished he'd had more pain, a fraction that he gave her, till now her hatred had contained. Standing over the fresh earth, his widow did not behave, pulled her pennies to one side, and she pissed upon his grave. His life had been a lie, no one left to cry. No one wondered why, none cared about this guy. His life had been a lie, they knew things were right. They knew his woman cried, they were glad to see him die.
Every species has its flaw. Some can lead it to extinction, others simply cause it, with or without conviction. The species is too prolific, the number too extreme, twice what the world can support, numbers heretofore unseen. We develop roads and buildings everywhere we go, regardless of the impact on the creatures that we know. We wipe out their habitat that once in life were full, then leave them something far too small, so we authorize a call. Humanus toxic garbage. Just keep it sight unseen. Some creatures eat our plastic or get caught in our nets. Yet we all to nothing, but we're not finished yet. Humanus Erectus, and now for parasite. Humanus Erectus will kill just for spite. Humanus Erectus destroys all in his path. Humanus Erectus can't understand the math. Oh, we emit such poisonous gases, we destroy our own air. As long as it makes money, we really couldn't care. But one day it'll catch us, no place to live or breathe. Maybe then we'll sprout gills, go back into the sea. Humanus Erectus, and now for parasite. Humanus Erectus will kill just for spite. Humanus Erectus destroys all in his path. Humanus Erectus can't understand the math.
More than most, the Irish have this tendency, I reckon. Baptize a child with one name, then call him by his second. I'm not sure why we do it, it's beyond pure religion. The answer's in our psyche, an attempt to please a smidgen. We try to honor family and carry on their name. Use the birth certificate to carry out our aim, but then revert to what we like and call the child by that. Christened as John Patrick, we simply call him Pat. It was an old tradition, common in those times, ran through many families, including even mine. It was an old tradition, a naming practice rather. Though baptized in Neville, I was John, my mother's father. I was over 18, simply known as John, to family, friends, and school, in Irish known as Sean. It was finally at college, when they worked from a list, that I became a Neville, too shy to insist. It was an old tradition, common in those times, ran through many families, including even mine. It was an old tradition, a naming practice rather. Though baptized in Neville, I was John, my mother's father. College friends used Neville, family still used John. Back and forth on weekends, 'twas hard to switch back on. Work became the clincher, the name became hard cast. Neville now was permanent, and John was in the past. It was an old tradition,
those times ran through many families, including even mine. It was an old tradition, a naming practice rather. Though baptized in Neville, I was John, my mother's father.
I used to imagine a life up ahead, full of success, got failure instead. A future so bright, such promise they said, just sunk to the bottom like a piece of old lead. There was a door open for me to walk through. In fact, there were many, perhaps too many too. I made the bad choices, that much is true. Doors leading nowhere, if I only knew. 6 feet under, that's where my dreams reside. 6 feet under, where my hopes now all hide. 6 feet under, all life's goals and plans. 6 feet under, dead and buried like I am. It's hard to imagine a more spectacular fall. I struggled to make it, yet I gave them all. But at the end of the day, my career hit a wall. My race was run, I was reduced to a crawl. 6 feet under, that's where my dreams reside. 6 feet under, where my hopes now all hide. 6 feet under, all life's goals and plans. 6 feet under, dead and buried like I am. I was left with my dreams. Was it any wonder, for all my attempts, I continue to blunder. My own best laid plans had fallen asunder. My hopes died that day, buried 6 feet under. 6 feet under, that's where my dreams reside. 6 feet under, where my hopes now all hide. 6 feet under, all life's goals and plans. 6 feet under, dead and buried like I am.
In the rear view mirror, I saw something move. I was pretty sure I did, but nothing I could prove. I looked over my shoulder at the empty rear seat. Nothing there at all, no sign of repeat. It was 4 in the morning, with darkness all around, alone in the car, with whatever went unfound. I drove a bit more slowly, with one eye to my rear. I felt someone was with me,
more curious than fear. Sometimes in the darkness, we sense we're not alone. Spirits come to find us when we're on our own. Sometimes in the darkness, these visitors begin. They're not here to harm us, but simply to check in. It wasn't just the headrest, although that fooled me once. The shape I saw was different, and it moved in response. I was on a dark country road, no ambient light other than the dashboard, which wasn't very bright. Sometimes in the darkness, we sense we're not alone. Spirits come to find us when we're on our own. Sometimes in the darkness, these visitors begin. They're not here to harm us, but simply to check in. That morning I leaned forward in my seat, strained one eye in the mirror, convinced I heard it breathe. I pulled off on the shoulder, and in an effort to surprise, spun around in darkness, stared into two red eyes. Sometimes in the darkness, since we're not alone, spirits come to find us when we're on our own. Sometimes in the darkness, these visitors begin. They're not here to harm us, but simply to check in.
My dad helped me yesterday with a problem that I had. I was still doing construction and was stuck really bad. I tried to imagine a way to get past, but every answer I arrived at was going nowhere pretty fast. I'd put me in a corner, there was nowhere left to move. Tried there for ages, situation unimproved. He looked at the problem, suggest I make a tool, a situational something, one that I could use. There are so many pieces of my dad inside of me, more than just his love, it's how he made me see. There are so many pieces of my dad inside of me. Through creative inventions, I live his legacy. Over his lifetime, he often did the same. Created a solution when there was no help to take. His mind was so inventive, I stood often in a maze. He would always think of something to solve things in his days. There are so many pieces of my dad inside of me, more than just his love, it's how he made me see. There are so many pieces of my dad inside of me.
That's what happened yesterday. There are so many pieces of my dad inside of me, more than just his love. It's how he made me see. There are so many pieces of my dad inside of me. Through creative inventions, I live his legacy.
There are things that we can undo, things that we have done, a simple do-over to right something wrong, a time to make revision to the plans that we made, where circumstances have changed or we've just poorly played. There are other times there's no undo. The ferryman's been paid, too late for an opinion change. Commitment has been made. No matter how uncomfortable this result has been, it's ours, we fully own it, no matter how obscene. There's no use crying, things are what they are. The die was cast so long ago, no door still left ajar. There's no use crying, the milk is truly spilt. Where I am is where I am, this is the bed I built. I found myself at crossroads and taking the wrong way. Found myself in places where I didn't want to stay. But such is life sometimes. We win and we lose. We own our decisions. We walk in our own shoes. There's no use crying, things are what they are. The die was cast so long ago, no door still left ajar. There's no use crying, the milk is truly spilt. Where I am is where I am, this is the bed I built. Closing in on end of life, so many doors are closed. Those that I have come through, my frailties exposed. My choices have brought me here, there is no point denying. These decisions call me to account, there is simply no use crying. There's no use crying, things are what they are. The die was cast so long ago, no door still left ajar. There's no use crying, the milk is truly spilt. Where I am is where I am, this is the bed I
It's been over 30 years since we last met each other. We live in different countries but stayed friends to one another. In a different world back then, we were both very young. passing ships in the night, yet friendship there had begun. Back then in the 90s, I had such a crush on this pretty young German, my mind in a rush. But it morphed into friendship, much deeper between. We shared over the years all we had seen. We see with our mind, not just with our eyes. We reshape the vision, smooth it out with soft lies. We see with our minds, the years become kind. We look beyond the surface at the person behind. A U.S. vacation brings her this way. No longer the divide, keeping friendship at bay. Today we meet after all this time, hoping years will relax, that they can be kind. We see with our mind, not just with our eyes. We reshape the vision, smooth it out with soft lies. We see with our minds, the years become kind. We look beyond the surface at the person behind. I stand there before her, and she before me. Our eyes close the distance, our laws of mind to see. We are still in our 30s, we kiss and embrace, close friends forever. Time lost this race. We see with our mind, not just with our eyes. Oh, we reshape the vision, smooth it out with soft lies. We see with our minds, the years become kind. We look beyond the surface at the person behind.
Yeah. We played football there each evening until it grew too dark. The three of us were soccer stars playing in a Gaelic park. They sometimes would run us off, but we'd nowhere else to play. So their threats didn't faze us, we still went there every day. Yeah. The three of us were 17 in our final year at school. We were quite determined and were nobody's fool. Being told we couldn't play there, we instantly dismissed. Despite their rage and anger, clear signs that they were pissed. Oh, who defines forever when describing best of friends? By the time we hit 18, our friendship at its end. Who defines forever in the minds of three young boys? It's been decades since our friendship, now mere memory of joy. We were the very best of friends, three boys with dreams so big. Each from different backgrounds, there was me and Niall and Mick. We each went to different schools, had different goals in life. The targets that we aimed for went undefined each night. Oh, who defines forever when describing best of friends? By the time we hit 18, our friendship at its end. Who defines forever in the minds of three young boys? It's been decades since our friendship, now mere memory of joy. football, we'd head down to my home. Toasted cheese and coffee, our card game syndrome. Best friends forever is what we thought we'd be. Yet life took the three of us on such separate journeys. Describing best of friends. By the time we hit 18, our friendship at its end. Who defines forever in the minds of three young boys? It's been decades since our friendship, now mere memory of joy. Who defines forever when describing best of friends? By the time we hit 18, our friendship at its end. Who defines